Welcome back, Planet FM 87.6, and I'm the host Tanveer, and our guest is Dr. Jasim Anwar, Sector Specialist, Planning Commission of Pakistan. We have been discussing in first part of this program about the environment. So I will put a question to my guest. Sir, I want to know that in Pakistan, the contamination of water, what are the reasons behind and what will be the effect of this contaminated water to the environment and particularly to human beings?
Well, you see, as in the first part of this program, I mentioned about the interconnectivity of the environment with all the factors, including health. Say, for that matter, contamination of water, it will start from the source. So if the source is not protected from the environmental contaminants, even in some areas we see the springs are not covered well. So this is number one, that the source is contaminated. And I will talk about this worst effects on health in few minutes. But before I would like to know the audience how water get contaminated. So some people think that the spring are very clean drinking water, but they are not aware that the spring has its own water source from certain surroundings. So for that example, there are animal feces, and in some parts still there is an open defecation by the human beings. So they get absorbed into the water, into the soil, and then any rain and any other factor that put that contaminant into the water will definitely then goes to the human systems and goes down to the areas where it's being supplied, and then it has its own bad consequences. So this is number one, the source contamination. The other contamination of the water from the environment, that is through the air. Sometime the rain waters, you must have heard of acid rains, like because of so much carbon in the atmosphere, and when it rains, the water become acidic, and it get contaminated into the main reservoirs of the water where people get these water supplies. And another one is then when it comes to your systems where you're using water in pots, in plastic pots. So that is the stage which you get these microfibers of the plastics if it's not of the standard quality plastic bottle, or if it's not of the certain standards that the glass or any other plastic utensil is made of. So that it goes to your bloodstream. When you drink it, it gets absorbed. And when it gets absorbed, any plastic particle, the other contaminants, for example, the bacteria or any other parasites, they go to your bloodstream, and they have their own consequences in terms of, the diarrhea, the dysentery, and sometimes the liver diseases, and sometimes cysts and other things. But this is a slow poisoning. This plastic contamination is a slow poisoning. You may not have its immediate effects,
but later on it will.
Yes, but even there are some studies that shows that there's the microfibers, the microparticles of the plastic can cause gene mutations. They can cause cancer. And even, the recent study in US, the mother to child, is called mother to child transmission. So we know that there's a barrier is called, placental barrier, the barrier which stops the mother blood going to the child, the fetus blood, and only the nutrition parts goes in, the nutrients and other things. But this microparticle can also cross this barrier, and it can even go to the child, even in the womb. So imagine what the catastrophes that plastic particle can do to the child, and the genetic anomalies, the genetic malformations, their incidence is on the rise.
What is your opinion about in Pakistan? What the strategy government should adopt to educate the people about the use of plastic bags and contaminated water? What we are using? What are the remedies? How they can use uh, clean drinking water? Mostly the people are not in position to buy the filter plants, small plants which are used in houses. But poor people, they do not bother and they are not aware about this. And whatever they find, they use it.
You're right. The question comes that, let's take an example of a poor person who's not having an access to mineral water, can't buy it, and he has no time to boil it as well. So I think over here it is the responsibility of the state that it should take measures to provide clean drinking water to its masses through clean water delivery systems. I mean, there are some filtrations that you can develop. You can prevent the water sources by covering them, and then there's so many other measures that the government can do. So, while at the same time, this is one aspect that the service provision should improve the quality, not only the quantity. So that's one thing. The other thing is, while the government has limited resources and doing efforts to, improve the quality of the life of the people, yet at the same time, people should also realize that the government is having this difficult times of, the debt servicing and, the crisis that we're going through. They can also contribute by there some simple measures. For example, the mud plants, mud pots. We used to, our elders, and we have seen in our village houses that.
But people at that time they were using the cotton cloth
as a filter.
As a filter.
Exactly, exactly. So this is what I'm saying. I mean, there's certain
But
small steps.
that has been finished now, and nobody knows about that.
Exactly. So certain education also needs to be done at the community level, so that they also take care of their own health through, even boiling of the water, like filters, using the mud pots and things like that have at least a better effect compared to just drinking the,
We have seen that people are using water in bulk capacity, but more than their need. Even you go to the mosque, you see the man will open the tap and they are making wuzu, and the lot of water is destroying.
Yes, it's called, water conservation.
Sure.
And the water conservation has its own, the policy. But then again, the question comes that are we as a nation or as a community educated enough to know that the importance of water and the water that we are wasting? So then this educating the masses also has to be in parallel to the regulations by the government. In many countries, no one is allowed to wash the car outside in the house, because it is the wasting water wastage. Then each house, each mosque, in each place there is a water billing system. So they try to make people understand that this is a precious commodity. It's not to be wasted. Some other steps that government can also do is to go for those taps. They are the timer taps or the sensor taps. But obviously in remote areas it's not very resource effective. So here the religious teaching comes.
Yeah, one thing I'll also ask you, that do we store the rainy water in our houses? Should we not build a small tank?
Yes, water storage at each household level. Yes, I mean,
That can be used for the plantation, car washing, and even the washrooms can be.
yeah, if you're referring to water harvesting, so you call rainwater harvesting. Yes, many people are even doing it now, but it is not done at a mass scale level. I mean,
But
the
if
people are not really aware of it. I mean, it's a very useful thing to actually collect and store water. Yes.
because here in Pakistan there are a lot of private developers. There must be a policy for those private developers that they should insure the rainy tanks in their houses so that water level, which is going day by day down, can be secured.
Of course, uh, I mean, again, then I will say that are people educated enough to, collect the rainwater? Are we giving any, success stories, educating the people that how important it is to collect the rainwater, harvest it, and use it at least for, plantation, even for cleaning purposes, you can use that water. So yes, you're right.
You are working in the Planning Commission of Pakistan. Can you explain what is the strategy of the government of Pakistan about the environment issues which we have already discussed?
Yes, definitely. I would like to highlight the current government strategies and priorities. You may have heard of the 5E framework of Pakistan, and one of the E is environment preservation. So you can then well imagine that the framework itself speaks of the importance of the environment. So while on one end all the strategies, the fiscal priorities, and the development that the Planning Commission is taking towards improving the environmental situation in Pakistan, reducing the carbon footprint. Even at the international level, the voice is being raised that the damages that the global community contributing towards the carbon emission is indirectly also affecting Pakistan. So, as far as because I'm also dealing with the population and also the health side, being the sector specialist. So, as far as our section is concerned, I'm pretty much sure that the development priorities uh, are highlighting the environmental component in each of the project that whatsoever ministry is submitting and whatsoever provinces bringing to us. We definitely see the environment impact, and to such an extent you are aware that there is a pro forma that each ministry or each department, when they conceive a project, is called PC1. So this PC1 has a specific section now on environment. That how this project is affecting the environment, or how it is contributing to the resilient environment and the overall broader effects. So the government, especially the current government, and the policies that exist are always pro environment preservation and supporting it, but yet at the same time creating employment opportunities. The regional inequalities is also the agenda of the Planning Commission. How they can play its role towards reducing the regional inequalities and promoting the growth, economic growth. So all these are under the overall umbrella of the 5E framework, which also has an environment. Yes.
Behavior is very important. How we can change the behavior of the people of Pakistan toward the environment?
uh, Education, I must say. You must have heard of, there are two things. One is, you educate the population. Others, you provide them certain knowledge. So I think while educating the people, providing knowledge, this should go hand to hand as a society transformation. Um, we have to start right from the uh, preschool level. That the education and awareness mechanisms, and hitting the right path, the right time in the human being development is the first 3 to 6 years, where you have certain beliefs and the concept inculcate into your mind that what is your overall objective, how you behave as a national, the concept of a coherent society as a nation that needs to be educated right at the beginning, right at the society level, through the religious systems, through the schools, through the houses, through mass media campaigns. And this society transformation is not a one-day job.
Sure.
It's an ongoing process. Sometimes, the society transformation takes decades to show its effect. Thinking as we are one nation, this is our country, this is our home, and we need to save the future of our children by each step that we take in our daily lives.
Today we see that the social media is very effective and it is trend-settler also. So we have also experienced past during the COVID that through apps people were educated uh, about the threat of the COVID, and mobiles and different messages were passed on to the people how to clean the hands, to take care of the family, etc. Now, on environment issue, can we also use this
Yes.
apps because it will be more effective if it is started well in time uh, before the season.
Very true, very true. You see, if you recall, the COVID times.
Yeah,
So every time you call someone,
yeah,
the what you call audio tone, you hear this COVID message.
sure.
At least for today, the communication ministry or the information ministry or the PTA should have, made this that plant a tree
Plant.
to save your future. Very simple media
Slogan,
message.
Slogan, just
Simple slogan of one day only
one day.
will have so much impact on our future generations. So again, I see it's a policy shift which each one of us needs to, take at our own level.
You are in a better position. Can you suggest this to the high authorities?
Obviously, I mean, I will and I'll try. It is not directly under me, being not in my sector, but since we are all colleagues and we try to educate and we are all working for a common cause, the common cause needs to be educated not only by one person, by all of us. Even if today message goes to the PTA or information ministry or any other organization, that at least next year make sure that every caller should get this message that plant a tree.
Recently, in July, August, we can start it before. This is the month of June, I think.
Yes.
That can be started. There is also sufficient budget for media
Yes.
purposes.
And there is not much budget required, in fact, just a simple message or a caller tune, making it mandatory that play this message. Like we used to play COVID, we used to play women empowerment things and, the gender issues and other things. Why not environment?
Sure.
Yes.
And our parliamentarian, they can also contribute for this, because if they will go outside and they start plantation, they start educating the people how to use the water, how to preserve the water, it can be effective.
Very true. Very true.
We will take a break and we will come back after some time.